I'm addicted to my phone, and I admit my phone addiction. I've got to put it down. And for me, I excuse it, right? I said, well, it's work. I've got to keep up with the news. I have to keep up with what's going on in the world. So obviously I have to keep my phone near me. But I'm absolutely, if I'm standing in line and I don't have my phone, I get out of line. I can't do it anymore. It makes the world better in a lot of ways and worse in a lot of ways because you don't communicate with people. But I've never seen this. So I go into the bathroom, and, we've got the urinals there, ladies, that the men use. Men's setup is a little bit different than the women's. And in this case, you've got the long, wall urinals that go all the way to the floor. So I pull up, and there's a guy next, he's already stationed there doing his thing. So he kind of eyes front. There's a unwritten man code. And dude is on his phone, not talking on the phone, scrolling on a website while going to the bathroom. That's a new one for me. That's a new level of addiction for me, and I just thought I would relate it to you. I've never seen it, but you know what? He's like
what men do in the bathroom.
While, and I'm just like, well, I don't know, to be impressed or disgusted. I don't know which, because both. Well, anyway.
Did he wash his hands? Enough
about that. He did not,
oh.
Actually. He walked out right behind me as I was washing up my hands. There's that going on in my world right now, and Mark Allen Barnett's here too. Oh, I love seeing him in the house. Singer-songwriter extraordinaire. I would tell you where he is next playing in Nashville, but there's no reason to, because I get to go and you do not. Are tickets already on sale? Oh, just a week. Well, could I tell him? I could tell him. I could tell him. All right, so Mark Allen and his team of singer-songwriters are going to be back at the Bluebird Cafe coming up August 19th. And if you do not get tickets within 5 minutes of them going on sale, you will not have tickets. So if you do happen to get them, say hello to me, because I'll be back in a corner somewhere. So there's that going on. 615-737-9986. Come on out and see us, or give us a super text at the aforementioned number. We invited any and all mayoral candidates to stop by with us today. And look who's here, Natisha Brooks.
Natisha, our Miss Brooks, the teacher.
Hey, Miss Brooks.
I got to school you on some things.
Okay. Holler. Give it to me.
All right. All right.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
I know why I'm in trouble, but we can have this conversation.
All right, we can have a conversation.
Because I love you to death. You know that.
I love you
back.
back.
And you know I appreciate your enthusiasm, and I appreciate your conservatism. I appreciate everything that you're about.
Well, this is what we've been hearing for the past 4 years. We appreciate this, Natisha. We appreciate that, Natisha. But then when it comes to the vote, we go somewhere else, and we're in Nashville, Davidson County, where this is an uphill battle, where voters are going to have to play just a little bit of chess to see who can get to the finish line. It's half minority. So if you're not in the minority community, you're not going to win Nashville mayor. I don't care who you are.
Wait, so you're saying, hold on, let me make sure I heard you right.
Yeah, we got to school you.
So you're saying if you're not black, you can't win?
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
What did you say? You said if you're not in the minority community, you can't win mayor.
I talk, you listen, you do your research.
No. Let me make it uncomfortable. It's my show.
No.
We'll have a conversation.
Yes.
And I love you.
We're
going to have a conversation.
I love you back.
But you're not going to take over.
No, we're not going to take over.
Okay, now go ahead.
All right. So if you look at the demographics, you have to get the minority community. You've got to be into the minority community, right, the black churches,
right,
to even have a shot at winning. This has nothing to do with the color of one's skin. It's the activity that you are doing within all of the communities. So you have Bordeaux, you have North Nashville, mm-hmm, right? You have Antioch, mm-hmm, okay? So if you are not participating in those areas, then one is going to think that you don't care about the minority community. And when I say minority community, I'm also talking about those people that are not of color that fall into the classes of $30,000 a year to $50,000 a year. So you have to make sure that you are within those areas and perimeters and hearing the issues of those that make less than $50,000 a year.
Okay, so you're in the minority community in Davidson County as a conservative.
Very minority community.
So how do you go into those communities that you just mentioned and present a plan of action that is consistent with their ideological values in a way that they vote for you? How do you do that?
The reality is they don't know, and we've said this a lot, that minorities don't know they're conservative until you present the platform of the Republican Party or what we're about. Then they say, oh, I didn't know that, right? So that's why I wasn't trying.
And those minorities are still going to go to the polls and they're going to vote 90% Democrat.
Well,
I mean, it's a sad reality. I mean, and we fight to change that. But
well, the Tennessean just put out yesterday. Cassandra just put out all of those that got money from the Titans, those that got money to their campaigns, right? And you would be surprised of who said they weren't against the Titan Stadium but received money from the Titan Stadium deal. People are, so when I say,
I don't know the answer to this question.
Okay, the
Will you
answer.
tell me?
Okay, yes, I will. Senator Heidi Campbell.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yarborough. Freddie.
Freddie
has the commercial.
Freddie, Mr. Anti-Titan Stadium.
Yes. Freddie says he did not vote for the Titan Stadium, but he put an amendment on the floor that he knew, since he knew that the Titan Stadium deal was going to go through, he put an amendment on the floor to bring Major League Baseball, and then voted for it. So you did vote for the Titan Stadium.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So when I say, and I think you took offense to it a while ago, and we'll kiss and make up.
No,
when I just say do your research, what I am confident about this election cycle is that people are doing their research. Sharon Hurt, she's black. She's of a color, correct?
Yeah, right.
There are many people of the minority community that are upset with her because she went with the Titan Stadium deal and gentrification. People can't afford to live here in Nashville, and that's where my tagline is, where Matt Wilshire took and made a commercial out of it. Teachers, police officers, first responders need to be able to live in the city that they protect and serve.
Agreed.
Okay, so that leads into our next question of why did Chief Drake turn down this money to have SROs in the school? Because that is what we need, not just protection of the children, but protection of the teachers, Matt. Teachers need protection too. So school starts back next week. We have a lot of parents, and when I say talk about teachers, conservatives, I'm talking about homeschool. There's homeschool families. Somebody asked me a great question. A voter came up to me and said she voted for me. Natisha, do you believe in the money following the child? Yes, I do. Charter schools, private schools, home schools, but I do say this as a conservative: you have to be careful if you take money from the government. A lady in Murray County said this: what the government funds, it runs. So we have to be careful about that. But I do believe that you don't have to take away from public school teachers for parents to have the right to choose how to educate their child.
All right, a couple of things to unpack. One, you didn't upset me at all. I was just like, there's zero way that you can upset me. Two, here's the fine line that I'm walking, Natisha, is that I promised myself that I would, and there are several reasons for this, but I promised myself that I would never pour cold water on someone like yourself, as enthusiastic as you are for this community. As much as you believe in this, as much as you believe in this community, and as good as you are on these issues, I'm never going to be accused of saying, well, you can't do, won't do, shouldn't do, or whatever. But I'm also realistic in as much as it takes money to win elections, and you don't have any. And that's no offense to you, because if you had you cannot only win mayor of Nashville.
Correction, Natisha has money. I have plenty. I'm just not going to. There's 11 people.
Then why are you not spending it, letting people know your name?
Well, Jim Gingrich spent $2 million.
Jim Gingrich had a bad platform. We're not talking about Jim Gingrich. We're talking about your good platform. We're talking about Natisha Brooks.
Well, people out there know me. Our message board just blew up when you said you were for another candidate. People know me out there. I
didn't say I was for. I said what I said was. Let's get it right. I said that if I had a vote, I would vote for Alice Rowley.
Right.
Because I believe that Alice Rowley has positioned herself as the only conservative in the race that has a chance to get in the runoff.
And
I don't think you have a chance to get in the runoff, Natisha.
Well,
that's not personal. It's just my observation.
But it's attitudes like that. We're not upset with each
It's not
other.
an attitude.
No,
you
no,
haven't
no,
raised
no.
enough money to get your name into enough households to get the job done. That's on you, not on me.
Well,
don't blame me.
I'm not blaming you.
You just did. You said it's attitudes like yours that cause
because
that.
everybody says money, 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 money. Social media does work too.
I certainly in concert with what?
At the end of the day, you've heard me say this many times. People are going to spend plenty of money to get their name out there. But I am a strong believer that people in this election are actually doing their research on candidates. I'm watching people go in with their ballots circled. People coming up to me saying, Natisha, hold on just a second.
No, I'm not.
I know you're not.
Natisha,
okay.
I'm just sitting here listening.
Okay. People come in and say, Natisha, I have my own Facebook group. I have groups that we are putting your name and your platform out there. So I have to believe in that. And if I believe in that, I believe other people believe in that as well. I can't help how you believe, but I believe in our platform. I believe in our message, and I believe that people know who we are.
It's not as much a reality on my belief. It is what is. And we'll see together on Thursday. And
okay.
And I don't want anyone to mistake our discussion, our debate here with any disagreement with who you are and what you stand for. I love it and I believe in it. And I wish that some multi-billionaire would have put enough money into your campaign to get the message out about Natisha Brooks. But the fact of the matter is we're 5 days out and that has not happened. And I'm not knocking it.
The fact of the matter is, if I can say this, the fact of the matter is we have gone to ask for endorsements. Sheriff Darren Hall just endorsed Matt Wilshire. We do ask. You know what they tell us? We're not endorsing anybody in the race. And then you turn around and you see, oh, this person gave to this candidate. So how do you think that makes me feel? When we do ask, we ask, will you help us out in this race? Well, we're going to stay out of it. We're going to stay out of it. And then you look up and see, oh, wow, well, they didn't stay out of it. That's nothing I can't help. I can't help that. But what I can help, though, Matt, is that for me to continually have faith in our democracy, have faith in the vote, have faith in people. And it brings me a lot of gratitude when I see people come out of the voting booth, come walk up to me and say, Natisha, I heard your message.
Well, and I know that it does, and it's one of the reasons that I have been a platform to consistently get your message out to the people.
I know you have. I know.
So
and we're grateful for that.
And look, and I believe in that, but the reality remains that it has always taken money to win in politics. From the beginning of America, it has taken money to win.
And so what we should be talking about is leadership in our party. We had this in the U.S. Senate race. We had 14 people running. We had 12 people running in the
I got to
congressional.
I'm getting coughed at. Yeah. I'm going to let you finish the point, and then we'll go to a break. But finish the point first.
But the leadership should say, hey, we don't need 3 people running for mayor that are Republicans or conservatives. We need to get behind somebody. Another thing that people are talking about, there are 5 women of color. The people of color in Nashville are upset because they're saying if they would just get behind one person, well, it's not about the color. It's about what we stand for. Mm-hmm. I didn't know these other 2 candidates were going to be in the race. I was the first one on your show that announced. I didn't know. Okay? But had we got together and said, hey, let's get behind one person, one of us could have ran for mayor, the other one could have ran. Look who we got for vice mayor.
I met Jim Shulman for the first time the other night.
Yeah. So, but that comes from leadership.
Right.
We leadership starts from the top. Bring everybody in and say, hey, let's see if we can get one of y'all across the finish line.
We're going to talk priorities with Natisha Brooks in just a moment. She's going to lay out some of the priorities that she has talked to the people across Davidson County about in her political campaign. As we continue from Bold Patriot Brewing Company, come on out and see us. It is the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN, the Matt Murphy Show at Bold Patriot Brewing Company. Folks are out and about. You know, Bill's here. Come see Bill. Bill is the architect of a famous story that I've told many, many times on the radio show regarding Garth Brooks and a grocery cart full of fried chicken. If you've never heard that story, Garth Brooks, grocery cart full of fried chicken. Just come on out, find Bill, and he's happy to tell you the story. Happened in Goodlettsville, I am told. Natisha Brooks is with us. We're talking about the mayor's race. Hello, Natisha.
Hello, Matt.
You know, I feel like that you and I were talking during the break, and I feel like the issue of affordable housing, it reminds me of that old, you know, everybody complains about the weather, but nobody's doing anything about it.
Correct.
That's the way it feels. Everybody's complaining about affordable housing. Nobody is doing anything about it. Let me give you an example. Matt, this confuses me.
Okay.
Like Matt Wiltshire, who I'm going to pick on because we've repeatedly asked him on the show. You have always made yourself available.
You ask, I come.
He's nowhere to be found. And he touts as one of his one of the reasons to vote for him, the fact that he's been involved in affordable housing in Davidson County.
Right.
And he says that as if it's a positive. However, there is no affordable housing in Davidson County.
Because what's affordable to you may not be affordable to me.
Right. So I'm confused how this can be a bonus for Matt Wiltshire. He's like, I've been doing this. Well, you've done it wrong, apparently.
And then Sharon Hurt says taxes are just fine. We're fine.
Well, I mean,
Vivian Wilhort says your taxes didn't go up. That didn't happen.
So what? I mean, if Mayor Brooks is sitting in office her first day, week, or month,
yes.
What can the mayor, what can the city do to promote housing that our police officers, our school teachers can afford?
Well, the first thing we need to do is get with our council, get the taxes back to where they were pre-COVID. Yes, that can be done. When I say do your research, I have done my research where cities have done it and given citizens rebates. I talked to Vivian Wilhort about that. Oh, I never heard of that. Really, Vivian? And you're the tax assessor. Okay. All right, we'll get past that. But yes, find out where did all this money go off our property taxes being increased. Second thing is have an extensive audit in the mayor's office. We got to get rid of the waste. I hate to say this. I love my Democrat friends, but I have this saying, and you've heard this, they just throw spaghetti against the wall, hoping something sticks. Just throw money at it, throw money at it. Matt Wiltshire also said, we have a 4-star credit rating here in Nashville. Ladies and gentlemen, that means that we can just borrow money. And that's exactly what he's going to do, is just keep borrowing money, borrowing money. We are broke, Nashville. We are broke. You need to understand that. So first thing we have to do is do an extensive audit to see what's working and what's not working, get rid of the waste. As far as our police officers, our teachers, our special ed, they can't afford to live here. And why did Chief Drake, he said, I don't understand it, Chief Drake.
No, let's get into that. I know you want to talk about the SRO component.
Yes.
It is inexplicable to me. It is inexcusable to me. And I pray that we
Kids
never
start back next week.
I know, and I pray that we never have a day where Chief Drake has to stand before a microphone and talk about a violent event and has to look at people and tell them that he did everything in his power. I mean, it is beyond the pale that you have a year. You have $2.5 million sitting on the table.
And what person would not want to make $58,000, almost $60,000 a year right now? Who wouldn't want to?
I would think.
Heck,
that would be attractive.
I mean, I'm good on money, but I put on a uniform. But listen, I don't understand that part. Maybe I missed the memo, was not in the meeting, but we have to have this. We have to fortify our schools. Our teachers and students need to be protected, and I'm with you. I pray that this doesn't happen. I mean, but on the other hand, we did good. Everybody knows that I'm a retired homeschool educator. Our homeschool academy is doing well. As a matter of fact, we're totally booked. My family took it over. People are pulling their kids out left and right. They shouldn't have to do that. And another thing I said, Matt, you heard me say this all the time. I've always wanted to have an ag magnet school. Agriculture matters. Everyone is not going to college. We need to get back trade school certificates. We need to get this now. And that's something I have to work with the state on. That's not something that a mayor does. Get that into the curriculum. Get back trade school certificates, because everybody's not going to college. But we have this thing that if you don't go to college, then you're less than. But
it's not true.
It's not true.
Not true. And some of the finest people you'll meet, they're tradesmen, they're electricians, they're plumbers, they're They work on
Get
heating and
these
AC.
permits passed
Right.
through. The permits are just sitting on the desk. We need to get them through. If we're talking about affordable housing,
Is Nashville, only a couple of minutes left, Natisha, but
Okay.
is Nashville changing? I hear people telling me, and I haven't been here long enough, but they say that Nashville is hardening like so many other big cities that we've seen in terms of crime and homelessness and drug use. What, if anything, should the next mayor do about this? I mean, because if you start hardening your edges, you lose that it city factor, right? You lose that honey spot that you are as a tourist destination.
well, we got a lot of things going on. The Titan Stadium, the race. And here's the thing, guys. I'm really for it. I missed the meeting the other day about
the renovation? Yeah. Oh, I know you are.
I'm totally for it, but I also believe that the taxpayers need to vote on that. It should go back to the vote of what people want. Everybody knows I'm ESPN too, but we need to let the voters vote on it. Okay. The other thing is going back to our taxes and our business tax structure. Small businesses matter, and pay to park to play. Our artists, we've got an artist here in the audience. How can they afford this parking that they have to get their gear up, get it in, pay for parking?
So just parking
I don't wanna-
exemptions, how would that work?
Yeah,
I've heard this.
parking exemptions. Look up Shreveport conservatives. Look up Shreveport, Louisiana. The reason why Natisha ran for mayor is because we're so much in debt. I don't want this turning into a Shreveport, Louisiana, where there's gambling casinos everywhere to try to pay down our debt.
Right.
You don't want that.
So do you not believe, and I hear you on the vote when it comes to tax matters, and this is a revenue bond, which is a little bit different, but
Correct.
Do you not feel like they made their voices heard in 2011? I mean, the vote was 71% to keep racing at the Speedway.
I do, but then if you're running for mayor and you're listening to those that live in the area, I looked at the minutes the other day of that meeting. There are a lot of people that are against it. They're talking about the noise level. But as I did my research, I heard that they were going to put the noise barriers up. So I'm not quite understanding what the argument is, but I'm just trying to make sure that it goes back to the people that they vote on it.
Yeah, and I think if you had a vote of Davidson County, it would reflect the 2011 vote.
Absolutely.
I mean, and I think the opponents of the expansion of the raceway or the renovation of the raceway would be against a vote because they know how it would
And
go.
quickly, what is the one thing that I've always said before we go? It's not guns that kill, it's mental illness. I've been talking about this for the last 2 campaigns. I hope everyone gets to the state legislature when they have that special session. It takes one little thing, and they're starting to pick away our guns. You know, Senator Campbell was on your show. I listened to her. Well, we don't want SROs in the school. So how does that work?
She called it militarizing our schools, is what she called it. Putting police officers in schools is militarizing our schools. I'll just leave it there. I mean, that says all you need to know. I mean, yeah, Bill, show Natisha what you just did behind Natisha.
I didn't hear you.
Just boo.
Yeah,
That's awful.
No.
right.
And then last but not least,
Yep.
human trafficking, adoption and foster care, working with the state legislature to make sure our kids get out of the system before they age out, because we don't want them to be victims of sex trafficking.
How can people find out more about Natisha?
Natisha, Natisha, NatishaForNashville.com, Natisha Brooks 16 Twitter. And everyone out there, Matt and I, we still love each other.
We love each other.